Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about how to craft some of the new cluster jewels that were made available in 3.10. Cluster jewels were a new form of jewel system that were added in 3.10 that allow you to get additional passive skills that aren't normally available on the tree. Um, Particularly in this league, there's been a lot of, I guess, abuse or maybe not intended mechanics with stacking heralds and stacking aura effects. There are a lot of posts on this already, a lot of gameplay, a lot of builds about this already, so I won't go into it myself. My current build is a silent version of the herald stacking build. After playing it for a while, it kind of trivialized all the content, bossing, mapping. It was you couldn't die. It's just kind of like an all-in-one build. It's definitely going to be nerfed next league, so I don't see any of these herald stacking builds being quite as powerful next league. But as we are still in the current league and it's not being touched till next league, I wanted to make a quick video today showing you what type of jewels that people are trying to roll for the build and why it's so expensive. So we have a jewel right here that's a increased damage while affected by a herald. It has 4 passive skills. I see so many posts and so many people I've traded with that think there is a difference between 4 and 5 passive skill jewels. People will pay a high premium just to get a 4 passive skill jewel. This is entirely I would guess stupid, because in comparison to 4 and 5s, the amount of skill points you allocate between 4 and 5s are exactly the same. The only justification I've ever heard from someone wanting a 4 socket one or 4 passive one is that it looks nicer or aesthetically. It has no benefits gameplay wise, and it affects has no advantages. So with a 4 passive skills, you get the node plus the 2 notables plus the jewel socket. That's your 4 jewel socket. That's your 4 passive tree. That's your 4 passive skills there. If you get a 5 passive skill one, you get both notables and then the jewel socket. See, notice how the 5th node is in between your jewel socket and your notable. You don't have to grab this at all. There's literally like no difference between 4 and 5. So I wanted to make this video maybe as like a PSA. As people still message me asking me for 4 instead of a 5. At this point, I feel like it's been beaten to death that 4 and 5s are the same. So I'll just mention it quickly in this video. Now, for rolling the jewel, for rolling any jewel, one of the best methods, from what I could tell based on prices, is to use alterations and regals. Now, alt regaling gives you the most amount of chances at generally the lowest cost to get what you're looking for. In this case, for most herald stacking builds, you want Purposeful Harbinger over here, and you want Heraldry. So you want those 2 mods together with a jewel socket, and those sell for upwards of maybe 300, 400 C. I haven't checked the prices in a while. People are trying to roll this so they can run multiple of these to reduce the cost of heralds, so they can stack heralds and then get a bunch of increased effective auras. So I will show you quickly how to make one of these jewels if you are interested in trying to roll it yourself. From my testing, I've probably rolled maybe close to 100 of these jewels this league. It is far more profitable or far cheaper to roll it yourself than it is to buy the jewels. Now note, there are 2 types of jewels that can roll Purposeful Harbinger and Heraldry. One of them is the Herald jewel itself. The other one is a minion jewel. The minions do 10% increased damage while you're affected by a Herald. Both these jewels can roll Purposeful Harbinger, Heraldry, Endbringer, and a jewel socket. It's much cheaper from what I've seen to buy a minion jewel as a base if you want to roll it compared to a Herald base. If you are looking for a cheaper way to roll the jewels yourself, I would highly recommend running a minion, rolling a minion version. In my own build, I'm running most of the minion ones. It just saves you a bunch of money, and you're only losing out on maybe about 1% damage increase compared to the Herald ones. I think I can justify the cost of that with just by buying the minion ones. In addition to this, minion ones are actually much easier to roll than Herald ones. The reason why is because we can see on Craft of Exile, this is a fantastic site for trying to figure out how to roll an item, or if you want certain mods on an item, how you should roll it. You'll notice that with a damage while you have a Herald cluster jewel, the weighting for the prefix for Heraldry and Purposeful Harbinger, they're about 3% each, and the weighting is 1.5%. If you look at a minion damage while you have a Herald one, Heraldry is 3.9% and Purpose for Harbinger is 3.9% respectively. So both of them close to 4% with a 2% weighting. So now compare that to the Herald cluster jewel itself. That's about a 1% increase in weighting, and that's about a 33% chance that it rolls. Like a 33% increased chance that it rolls when you're trying to alt spam. So generally, I would advise people, if you are trying the minion build, if you are trying the Herald build, to buy the minion jewels if you're trying to save some money and have an easier time rolling it. So in this video, I will roll both a Herald one and a minion one to show you how you can roll the jewel. So you start with a white base and then you just slap on a transmutation, and now the long process of alt spamming begins. So I will just either speed up the footage and show you until I get the desired result, or I'll talk through my first couple of rolls with the jewel and what I'm doing and my process, and then I will fast forward until I get the end result. So I'm just alt spamming until I see a jewel that a roll that I want. So let's say I see one passive with jewel socket. I will now augment it, hopefully trying to get either Purpose for Harbinger or Heraldry. So Alien Destruction, nothing there, so I roll over it, go again. So now we rolled Heraldry and a jewel socket. At this point, what you want to do is regal it and hope for another good prefix, which is either, or has to be Purpose for Harbinger. So Purpose for Harbinger is a must for all the jewels. The Purpose for Harbinger pairs with either Endbringer or Heraldry. So we regal it on. Dark Messenger, not what we want, so we scour it, and then we go back to transmuting, and then we start alt spamming again. Same thing as before, jewel socket, then you add on a augment, so in instructions, so we go again. So now we rolled Endbringer and a jewel socket. Note that you can't roll Endbringer and Purpose for Harbinger, or Endbringer and Heraldry, or any combination of the two prefix mods on a blue item, because a magic item can only have one prefix, one suffix. So you're always looking to have the suffix be a jewel socket, and then the prefix can either be Purpose for Harbinger, Heraldry, or Endbringer. And then you try regal on, ideally, Heraldry, Purpose for Harbinger, whatever one you're missing. So on this jewel, we're looking for Purpose for Harbinger. Dark Messenger, so we go again. Just a quick note, when you are rolling the jewel, sometimes when you get, let's say, a jewel socket by itself, you want to use an augment to give it another roll. Based on the prices between augments and alterations, it may not always be worth it to use augmentation. It might be cheaper just to use an alterations. In this case, normally I would just keep using alterations if alterations are cheaper than augments. If augments are cheaper, then always go ahead and augment when you get one desirable roll on a jewel. Alright, so we just rolled a jewel just like that. This is a Purpose for Harbinger Endbringer one. These jewels aren't as expensive as the Purpose for Harbinger Heraldries, but I'm still going to keep this because I'm just making a quick video showing you how to roll it. So you would have seen in the footage before, I rolled jewel socket plus Purpose for Harbinger, then I regaled on Endbringer. And then now I can either use this jewel or sell it at a profit. So this probably only cost about maybe 30 to 40 C in terms of alterations and scales, what other materials I used. And well, yeah, the jewel's done now. Also, a quick note for rolling jewels, you want to check the item level of the jewel and ensure that it's no higher than level 83. We want to do this because after 83, 84, 85, they start introducing more mods to the pool. So if you look at Craft of Exile, you will see that, let's say, these are all tier 1, so there are no increases. But for things like tier 3, the eye level all begins at eye level 84. And since we don't really care about these extra mods, we want to try reduce the dilution of our pool of mods available by trying to get jewels below level 83. Yeah, so like all these rolls, if you get an I-84 one, they'll be added to the pool and they'll dilute the pool of potential mods you can get. So like ideally you want to get a jewel that is level 83 or less. So now if you look at this current jewel, this jewel is level 75. This is a minion one. These ones are meant to be, according to Craft of Exile, they're much easier to roll in terms of weighting. So I'll roll this one now and then we'll see where we go from here. So as you can see, the process is still the same as rolling the Herald jewel. You just want to get heraldry plus a good jewel socket, or herald, or purposeful harbinger, or any of the 3 mods mentioned, with a jewel socket combination, and then regal something else on. Oh, there we go. So we just hit purposeful harbinger plus heraldry with the jewel socket. This one is one of the, I guess, big money ones that you, if you want to sell them, or the ones that are more in demand compared to Endbringer Purposeful Harbinger. So I'll quickly have a look what this sells for on right now in the trade. So I have a pre-done trade filter to help me find these type of jewels. So I put in heraldry plus jewel socket plus purposeful harbinger. This is a herald base, so we'll click on a minion base, and then that's what our minion base is, and see what the cost is. So yeah, they sell for around 300C. If they're a 5 passive one, let's have a look at a 4 passive one. Sell for around 330C, 340C. So yes, the way, if you do want to make money rolling these jewels, the way I look at it is, if you roll a Endbringer plus Purposeful Harbinger, that normally covers the cost of the jewel itself, as well as some of the crafting materials, and you use these ones to help fund your other crafts, help fund your other rolls until you're able to roll a heraldry Purposeful Harbinger jewel. In this case, I think I used about maybe 210 alterations in that whole entire session. Alts at the moment sell for 1x for 700. These jewels combined sell for more than that cost already. The jewel bases itself are fairly expensive, but you can obviously sell these jewels for more than whatever you pay for them for the base. So let's have a quick look at the Endbringer Purposeful Harbinger on a Herald base. So we switch this to a Herald base and tick in Endbringer Purposeful Harbinger. Have a look. Yeah, so it's about 290C for one of these, and this is one of the easier ones to roll because Endbringer has a higher weighting than heraldry in terms of for rolling on as a prefix. So yes, you could definitely make a bunch of money with this. All you have to do is just keep rolling jewels. It is a bit tedious if you do want to like make a lot of money like this, but it is, I would say, pretty guaranteed source of profit. So if you want to check the cost of crafting these jewels, you can go to Craft of Exile, and they have a neat function where you can compare the different forms of crafting, let's say fossil crafting, chaos spamming, or alt spamming, figure out the average cost it takes to make roll a certain jewel. So in this case, let's say we chaos spam this jewel. You put in Endbringer, Purposeful Harbinger, and a jewel socket. The average attempts is 429 chaos at a 63% confidence rating. This means in that many attempts, you have a 63% chance that you'll get the jewel. Compared to, let's say, alt spamming plus alt regaling, alt augment plus regaling. You compare the cost, you put in Endbringer, Purposeful Harbinger, and a jewel socket. It takes 561 attempts at a 63% confidence level, and that's only about 158C in terms of rolling it. And as we saw before, the jewel itself sells for 290C, and the base itself is maybe about 120C. So you could easily make a, I would say maybe a small profit on this. This one is not the one that sells for a lot. The one that sells for a lot is Purposeful Harbinger plus heraldry. If you put that in instead, let's say we put heraldry in, that one takes about 306 chaos orbs, and that would also mean the price of one of these also sells for 370C. So yes, it's generally cheaper to alt spam, but always check Craft of Exile first if you want to look at how you want to craft a jewel, and if it's cheaper just to buy it outright. Other than that, there's not too much more to say about how to roll these jewels. This type of crafting method can be applied across all different type of cluster jewel bases. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I've been uploading some non-PoE content recently. I've been having a lot of fun playing Valorant in the closed beta, but worry not, I'm still a PoE content creator, I do want to make more videos in PoE, but I haven't been playing it as much. So you may see a bit more Valorant content on the channel, but then when the new league comes out or when something interesting happens, I'll be sure to post it as a video. And always guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more content.